A former beauty pageant queen from Lafayette, Indiana, is being indicted in a Mexican cartel's drug trafficking scheme.
Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today, we have a crazy story that's going to blow your mind. Imagine this, a beauty queen turned drug smuggler. Yep, you heard that right. She has practically lived through a real-life version of Quentin Tarantino's classic film, Jackie Brown. If you haven't seen it, trust me, you're in for a wild ride. Well, Glenis Zapata's story is like a modern-day adaptation of that plot, complete with glamour, intrigue, and a shocking twist that even Tarantino himself might find intriguing.
34-year-old Glenis Zapata was the first Latino pageant winner from Indiana ever to make the top 10 within the U.S. pageant.
Let me introduce you to Glenis Zapata, who was crowned Miss Indiana Latina back in 2011. She went from wearing a crown to being involved with a notorious Mexican drug cartel. Ever heard of the Espinosa DTO? It's one of the big players in the drug world. Led by Oswaldo Espinosa, they've got their hands in all sorts of illegal activities, and Glenis Zapata somehow got mixed up with them.
And it detailed that she was involved in 8 drug trafficking operations from 2021 to 2023 and 15 cash transports between November 2019 and March 2022. I just think this is wild. I mean, to go from a beauty pageant, I know that was like 13 years ago she was a beauty pageant, but just, wow, the cartel, that's a dangerous game to play, ma'am.
How does someone go from strutting on stage to smuggling drugs on flights? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into today.
In 2011, Glenis Zapata was the smiling beauty queen of Lafayette, Indiana. As Miss Lafayette Latina, Zapata became a contestant in the state contest and won the 2011 Miss Indiana Latina.
All right, let's paint a vivid picture of Glenis Zapata's journey from glamour to the gritty world of drug smuggling. Born and raised in the heart of Indiana, Glenis Zapata was destined for greatness right from the start. Picture this. A small-town girl with big dreams, a radiant smile, and a heart full of ambition. She was a ray of sunshine, lighting up every room she walked into. Fast forward to 2011, and Glenis hit the big time. She competed in the Miss Indiana Latina pageant, and let me tell you, she owned that stage. With grace, charm, and undeniable talent, Glenis captivated the judges and the audience alike. And when they placed that sparkling crown on her head, it was like a dream come true. The whole town celebrated her victory. Glenis became a local celebrity, appearing in newspapers, on TV, and rubbing shoulders with influential people. She was the epitome of glamour and success, a shining example of what hard work and determination could achieve.
Zapata had been working lately as a flight attendant, but according to federal authorities, was also attending to the movement of drug cartel cash on board jetliners into Mexico.
But life had more twists in store for Glenis. Sometime after her reign as Miss Indiana Latina, she made a career move that seemed like a natural fit for someone with her charm and poise. She became a flight attendant. Can you imagine it? Glenis, soaring through the skies, living a jet-setter's life, and embodying the image of elegance at 30,000 feet. On the surface, everything seemed perfect. She had a glamorous job, traveled to exotic destinations, and lived a life many would envy. But as they say, looks can be deceiving. Behind that glamorous facade, Glenis was about to embark on a journey that would change her life forever. You see, amidst the glitz and glamour of her career, Glenis found herself drawn into a dark and dangerous world, the world of drug smuggling. It's like something out of a gripping crime thriller, except this was real life, with real consequences. How did it happen, you ask? Well, let's delve into the details. Glenis's job as a flight attendant gave her access to a world of opportunities, but it also exposed her to people and situations she never imagined she'd encounter. According to reports, she was approached by individuals connected to the notorious Espinosa DTO drug cartel. These were no ordinary folks. They were players in a high-stakes game of illegal activities, from drug trafficking to money laundering, and they saw something in Glenis, something they could use to their advantage. Before she knew it, Glenis was caught up in a web of deceit and danger. Her once glamorous life took a sharp turn as she became entangled in smuggling drug money from Chicago to various southern states and then into Mexico. It was a risky game, but one she found herself playing, perhaps lured by promises of easy money or the thrill of living on the edge. But as they say, all good, or in this case, bad, things must come to an end. Glenis's involvement with the cartel didn't go unnoticed. Law enforcement had been keeping a close eye on the Espinosa DTO, and Glenis's activities eventually raised red flags. In a dramatic turn of events, Glenis was arrested along with other key players in the cartel. It was a shocking fall from grace for the former beauty queen, her once glamorous image tarnished by the harsh reality of her choices.
Tonight, she is named in a federal grand jury indictment and facing drug trafficking charges.
Now, she faces serious charges, including drug trafficking and money laundering. It's a stark reminder of how quickly life can change and the consequences of getting involved in illegal activities. But amid the darkness, there's a lesson to be learned. Glenis Zapata's story serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder that glamour and success can sometimes mask a darker reality. It's a reminder to stay vigilant, make wise choices, and never let the allure of easy money lead you down the wrong path. So there you have it, the incredible journey of Glenis Zapata, from beauty queen to cartel accomplice. It's a story that reminds us that truth can be stranger than fiction, and that sometimes reality is the most gripping story of all.
Now, Mr. Espinosa, the alleged ringleader, the kingpin of a multi-million-dollar Mexico-based drug trafficking ring that flooded the U.S. streets with thousands of kilos of that Coca-Cola.
Now, let's dive into the wild and wacky world of the Espinosa DTO drug cartel. Picture this, a criminal empire so vast and powerful, it's like something out of a blockbuster movie. And at the helm of this operation is none other than the notorious Oswaldo Espinosa, a name that strikes fear into the hearts of many. Now, let's start with the man himself, Oswaldo. He's not your average Joe. No, sir. He's like the James Bond of the criminal underworld, pulling off daring heists and running a complex network of drug trafficking routes that span across states and even countries. This guy is the real deal, and his cartel is no joke.
51-year-old Oswaldo Espinosa, aka the Scrambler, between 2018 and 2023, with the help of Miss Zapata and their 18 other crew members, they moved drugs from Mexico to Chicago and several other cities using warehouses, garages, and fake business fronts.
Speaking of the cartel, let's talk about their operations. It's like a well-choreographed dance, except instead of ballerinas, you've got drug runners and money launderers. They're like the Avengers of crime, each member bringing their unique skills to the table to keep the operation running smoothly. Their reach is insane, from the bustling streets of Chicago to the dusty towns of Mexico. They've got their fingers in every pie. And let me tell you, it's not just about moving drugs. These guys are pros at dodging law enforcement, laundering money through sneaky channels, and evading capture like it's a game of hide and seek. But don't let their slick operation fool you. The Espinosa DTO is not a group to be messed with. They've got enforcers who make the Hulk look like a teddy bear, and they're not afraid to use them if things get hairy. Now, you might be wondering, how does a cartel like this even come to be? Well, it's a mix of brains, brawn, and a whole lot of ruthlessness. Oswaldo Espinosa didn't just stumble into this gig, he built it from the ground up, with a little help from his friends, or should I say, accomplices. Their territories are like a patchwork quilt of crime. They've got their turf marked out in the southern states, where they run operations that would make your head spin. And let's not forget about their stronghold in Mexico, where they're like kings, ruling over their kingdom of illicit activities. But wait, there's more. The Espinosa DTO isn't just about making money, although they're pretty darn good at it. They've also got a reputation for violence that would make Quentin Tarantino blush. Cross them, and you might just find yourself on the wrong end of a very unfriendly encounter. Glenis Zapata's involvement in the drug trade began when she was approached by members of the Espinosa DTO cartel. These individuals were part of a sophisticated criminal network with operations spanning multiple states and even crossing international borders. Now, these weren't your average Joes. They were smooth talkers, promising Glenis wealth, luxury, and everything she ever dreamed of. And who wouldn't be tempted by such promises, right? For Glenis, who had tasted success as Miss Indiana Latina and enjoyed the glamour of being a flight attendant, the offer must have seemed irresistible. So, Glenis took the bait. She saw an opportunity to live a life of luxury and jumped at the chance. Little did she know, she was stepping into a world of danger and deception. They targeted Glenis due to her position as a flight attendant, seeing an opportunity to use her access and discretion to their advantage. She had access to secure areas within airports, allowing her to bypass certain security measures. This made her an ideal candidate for moving large sums of money without drawing suspicion. Her role in the cartel was simple yet crucial. She was tasked with smuggling drug money from Chicago to the southern states and then into Mexico. Sounds like something straight out of a spy movie, doesn't it? But this was real life, with real risks and real consequences. Now, let's talk about how Glenis pulled off these daring operations. As a flight attendant, she had access to secure areas in airports, which made her the perfect candidate for moving large sums of money unnoticed. It was like she had a golden ticket to bypass security checks and slip under the radar.
This private jet landed here at Gary, Indiana Airport from Mexico with 220 pounds of cocaine packed in several suitcases. Cartel operatives arrested in the private jet have already been prosecuted and imprisoned. According to the new indictment,
her operations were meticulously planned, using her travel schedule and knowledge of airport procedures to her advantage. She had routes mapped out, timings calculated to the minute, and methods of concealment that would make even the most seasoned criminals nod in approval. Picture this: Glenis, in her flight attendant uniform, blending in seamlessly with the bustling crowds at airports. She had perfected the art of discretion, never drawing attention to herself as she carried out her illicit activities. One of the key aspects of her operations was the use of secure areas within airports. These areas, typically restricted to authorized personnel, provided Glenis with the perfect cover to move illicit funds without raising red flags. It was a calculated strategy that allowed her to evade detection for a significant period. And let's not forget about the risks involved. Drug smuggling is no walk in the park. Glenis had to navigate through a minefield of potential pitfalls, from nosy airport security to suspicious colleagues. But she was clever, resourceful, and always one step ahead of the game. Her operations were like a well-oiled machine, with each move calculated to minimize risks and maximize rewards. And for a while, it worked. Glenis was living the high life, enjoying the perks of her newfound wealth and seemingly untouchable. But as they say, all good things must come to an end. Glenis's luck eventually ran out, and law enforcement agencies, working tirelessly to combat drug trafficking, identified her as a key player in the cartel's operations. In a dramatic turn of events, she was arrested along with other individuals connected to the Espinosa DTO.
Federal authorities seized one of the private planes loaded with cash that Ms. Zapata was currently employed on as a flight attendant. 3 of the operatives on the plane, who have now been identified as active cartel members, were arrested.
It was a shocking fall from grace for the former beauty queen turned drug smuggler. Her once glamorous life was now a tangled mess of legal battles and potential prison time. But through it all, Glenis remained resilient. She faced the consequences of her actions head-on and learned some hard lessons along the way. Can you believe the sheer drama that unfolded when law enforcement agencies busted Glenis Zapata? It was like a scene straight out of an action-packed movie, with cops and agents working together to bring down the notorious Espinosa DTO cartel.
Glenis Zapata was arrested in Chicago on a grand jury indictment and charged with 2 federal counts of money laundering.
Let's rewind a bit and dive into the nitty-gritty of Zapata's arrest. The authorities didn't just stumble upon her by chance. No siree. It was a well-planned operation involving multiple federal agencies putting their heads together and following the breadcrumbs of evidence. The investigation into Zapata's activities uncovered a web of intrigue and deception. Think surveillance footage capturing her every move, financial records tracking the flow of illicit funds, and insiders spilling the beans on the cartel's inner workings. Now, let's talk about the actual takedown. It was like a high-stakes game of cat and mouse, with law enforcement teams closing in on Zapata and her cohorts. They moved in with precision, ensuring that no one slipped through the cracks. It was a real-life thriller unfolding right before our eyes. And let's not forget about the evidence. Oh boy, did they have a mountain of it? Surveillance footage? Check. Financial records? Double check. Testimonies from informants? Triple check. It was a slam dunk case that left no room for doubt about Zapata's involvement in the cartel's illicit activities. But here's where the story gets even juicier. The role of federal agencies in this whole operation was nothing short of impressive. They worked hand in hand, like a well-oiled machine, to bring down the bad guys. It was a showcase of teamwork and determination in the face of organized crime. And when the dust settled, Zapata found herself on the wrong side of the law. Her arrest sent shockwaves through the criminal underworld, serving as a stark reminder that crime doesn't pay. It was a victory for justice and a testament to the dedication of law enforcement in keeping our communities safe.
Her arrest is a fall from the glory of her beauty pageant days, 2011, when she was heralded as the first Latina pageant winner from Indiana ever to make the top 10 at the U.S. pageant.
Her arrest sent shockwaves through the criminal underworld and served as a stark reminder of the consequences of engaging in illegal activities. Glenis faced serious charges, including drug trafficking and money laundering, which carry significant penalties upon conviction. In the end, Zapata's arrest was more than just a headline. It was a lesson in consequences and a testament to the tireless efforts of those who work tirelessly to uphold the law. So here's to hoping that this thrilling tale serves as a cautionary reminder to anyone thinking of dabbling in the dark side of the law. Crime doesn't pay, and justice will always prevail. If we talk about the role of women in the Mexican drug trade, this isn't a new trend, but rather a dark legacy woven into the fabric of drug trafficking history.
ये उबलने लगा है और अब इसमें क्रिस्टल बनने लगे हैं। लेकिन हाल ही में मैंने नार्को ट्रैफिकर्स की एक नई ब्रीड के किस्से सुने हैं। ये है फीमेल्स। अफवाहों के मुताबिक ये भड़कीली कोकेन क्वींस अरबों रुपयों के इस ड्रग बिजनेस की शक्ल ही बदल रही हैं और मैं इन्हें ढूंढने के मिशन पर हूँ।
आजकल फीमेल्स हर कहीं दिखने लगी हैं। अब इस धंधे में भी लड़कियां आ गई हैं।
Buranzart Saib. First, let's set the stage with some historical context. Women have been involved in drug smuggling for as long as the trade itself has existed. From the early days of drug trafficking, women have played crucial roles, often behind the scenes, but sometimes right at the forefront. Their involvement is a testament to the ingenuity and adaptability of cartels in exploiting every available resource. One of the most famous figures in this shadowy world is Sandra Avila Beltran, often referred to as the Queen of the Pacific. Sandra's story is straight out of a Hollywood script. She was deeply entrenched in the Mexican drug trade, leveraging her charm, intelligence, and connections to climb the ranks of the cartel hierarchy. Her notoriety and influence made her a legendary figure in the annals of drug trafficking history. But why do cartels recruit women for such dangerous roles? Well, there are several reasons. For one, women are often perceived as less suspicious than men. They can blend into their surroundings more easily, making it simpler for them to move drugs or money without attracting undue attention. This brings us to the psychological and social factors at play. Cartels are adept at psychological manipulation. They prey on vulnerabilities, promising financial security and a glamorous lifestyle that seems just out of reach. For many women, especially those in dire financial situations, the lure of quick money and luxury can be irresistible. Financial desperation is a powerful motivator. Many women who become involved in the drug trade do so out of a need to support their families or escape poverty. The promise of substantial fast cash is a tempting offer that can overshadow the potential dangers involved. In many cases, women see drug smuggling as a short-term solution to long-term financial problems. Moreover, the social dynamics in certain communities play a significant role. In areas where cartels hold significant power and influence, women might feel pressured or coerced into joining these criminal enterprises. Refusal to cooperate can have dire consequences, not just for them, but also for their families. The fear of retribution can push women into the dangerous embrace of the drug trade. The methods used by women in the drug trade are as varied as the women themselves. Some serve as couriers, transporting drugs across borders or within countries. Others may handle financial transactions, laundering money to keep the cartel's operations running smoothly. And some, like Sandra Avila Beltran, take on leadership roles, orchestrating complex operations and negotiating with other criminal organizations. Let's look at a few more notable cases similar to that of Glenis Zapata. Take, for example, the case of Claudia Ochoa Felix, often dubbed the Kim Kardashian of organized crime. Claudia was allegedly involved with the Sinaloa cartel and was known for her lavish lifestyle, which she flaunted on social media. Her story, much like Glenis's, underscores the allure of cartel life and the significant role women can play within these organizations. Then, there's Emma Coronel Aispuro, the wife of infamous drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. Emma's involvement in the drug trade came to light during El Chapo's trial, where she was accused of helping to run his cartel operations while he was in prison. Her story is another example of how women can be deeply involved in the criminal underworld, not just as passive participants, but as active players. But beyond the high-profile cases, there are countless women whose names we may never know. These women work in the shadows, smuggling drugs, laundering money, and doing whatever it takes to keep the cartel machinery running smoothly. Their stories are a testament to the pervasive reach of these criminal organizations and the lengths they will go to exploit every available resource. The role of women in the drug trade also highlights the broader societal issues at play. Many of these women come from backgrounds of poverty and limited opportunity. The systemic inequalities they face make them vulnerable to exploitation by cartels, who promise them a way out of their desperate situations.
I have watched women work night shift and put themselves through school and while having kids. So it's really not an excuse for people to be out here involving themselves with, criminal organizations like the cartel or any type of gang, any type of situation where you have to pump poison out on the street.
Psychological manipulation is a powerful tool used by these criminal organizations. Women are often seduced by the promise of a better life, only to find themselves trapped in a cycle of crime and violence. The allure of the cartel life can be strong, but the reality is often far from the glamorous image that is presented. At the same time, it's important to recognize that not all women in the drug trade are victims. Some are willing participants who see an opportunity for power and wealth. They navigate the dangerous waters of the drug trade with skill and cunning, proving that they can be just as ruthless and effective as their male counterparts. The stories of these women are complex and multifaceted. They highlight the intersections of gender, power, and crime, and reveal the often overlooked role that women play in the world of organized crime. Whether driven by desperation, manipulation, or ambition, their involvement in the drug trade is a testament to the pervasive influence of these criminal organizations. Addressing the root causes of poverty and inequality is essential in reducing the vulnerability of women to exploitation by criminal organizations. By providing better opportunities and support, we can help prevent the next generation of women from falling into the same traps. The story of Glenis Zapata is not about one woman's fall from grace. It's a tale that echoes through the legal system, affects entire communities, and grabs the public's attention. First off, let's talk about the charges against Glenis Zapata. This isn't a slap on the wrist kind of situation. Zapata faces some pretty heavy accusations, like drug trafficking and money laundering. These are serious crimes that come with serious consequences. Depending on the evidence, she could be looking at several years in prison or even life behind bars. The judicial system doesn't mess around when it comes to drug smuggling, especially across state lines and into other countries. Her case is more than just about her. It sets a legal example for others involved in similar activities. The authorities want to send a clear message. If you get involved with drug cartels, no matter who you are, you will face severe punishment. This case could influence future prosecutions, making it tougher for others to operate like she did. It's about making an example out of someone to deter others from following the same path. Now, let's talk about the broader social impact. Glenis Zapata's arrest and the ensuing legal drama don't just affect her, they ripple out to touch her family, friends, and community. Imagine being her neighbor or a fellow flight attendant. One day, she's the friendly beauty queen next door, and the next, she's in handcuffs on national TV. The shockwaves can be profound, leading to a mix of emotions ranging from disbelief to betrayal. Families often bear the brunt of these situations, facing stigma and judgment from their community. Communities hit hardest by drug trafficking often see a host of social issues. Increased crime rates, broken families, and economic struggles are just a few of the problems that can arise. When someone like Zapata is caught, it shines a spotlight on these issues, sometimes prompting community action, but often just adding to the despair. For many, the allure of easy money from the drug trade is a symptom of deeper societal problems, such as poverty and lack of opportunity.
I don't feel sorry for none of these people that's got caught selling drugs and they go to jail, because you're affecting people's lives, you're tearing apart families, and of course no one's making the people do the drugs, but you're still selling poison to people.
Public perception and media coverage are also crucial elements of this story. The media loves a good scandal, especially one involving a beauty queen turned drug smuggler. It's the kind of story that headlines are made for. But this sensational coverage can sometimes overshadow the more significant issues at play. While the public is engrossed in the drama of Zapata's personal downfall, the systemic problems that led to her involvement in the drug trade may be overlooked. The media's portrayal can also influence the judicial process. High-profile cases like this one attract a lot of attention, which can add pressure on the legal system to deliver a harsh sentence to appease public outcry. On the flip side, it can also lead to a more thorough investigation, as authorities know their actions are under the microscope. In either case, media coverage plays a pivotal role in shaping the narrative and outcome of such cases. Let's not forget about the social dynamics at play here. Zapata's story is a stark reminder of how individuals can be seduced by the promises of the criminal world. The glamour, the money, the excitement, it's all very tempting. But as her story shows, it comes at a high cost. The consequences of her actions are a sobering reminder that the allure of quick riches is often a trap, leading to a lifetime of regret and punishment. Now, what about the broader implications for law enforcement? Cases like Zapata's highlight the ongoing struggle between law enforcement agencies and drug cartels. It's a cat-and-mouse game where each side is continually adapting and evolving. Zapata's arrest is a win for the good guys, but it's also a reminder of how pervasive and adaptable these criminal organizations can be. It underscores the need for continued vigilance and innovation in the fight against drug trafficking. In the grand scheme of things, Zapata's story is a small part of a much larger picture. The war on drugs is a complex, multifaceted battle that involves countless individuals and organizations. Her arrest is just one victory in a long and ongoing fight. But each victory, no matter how small, is a step towards a larger goal, reducing the impact of drug trafficking on our society. All right, folks, let's bring it all together. Glenis Zapata's tale is a powerful reminder of just how dangerous the drug trade can be and how far these cartels reach. Think of Zapata's story as a warning sign. It shows us how easily someone can get caught up in the allure of quick money and luxury, only to face serious consequences down the road. But beyond her story, it reminds us that there are many others out there involved in similar risky business.
So many parents on there, giving these testimonies about how their kids took a half of a fentanyl pill and went to sleep and didn't wake up. I mean,
All
I
right,
stopped
folks,
counting at like
let's bring
23.
it all together. Glenis,
Like these pills are unaliving teenagers. It's these dangerous drugs.
as we wrap up, let's not forget the human side of this issue. Real people, real families, and entire communities are affected by the drug trade. It's a tough battle, but it's one that needs our attention and continued effort to make a difference. So, what do you think about Glenis Zapata's journey from beauty queen to drug smuggler? Pretty wild, right? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you think. If you found this story as intriguing as we did, please give us a thumbs up, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We've got more eye-opening content coming your way, and you won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more fascinating stories and important issues. See you next time.